Hey everybody, nuclear's nearly done. I've went ahead and stopped it right here at the twin reactor. I've stopped it at 129 work days remaining. So it's almost done. We're getting real close. I wasn't able to stop both of these buildings from constructing though, so they're both built unfortunately. I just didn't get there in time, and that's just the way it goes. So the next thing to do is we need to get this industry supplied so that this power can, be consistent. It has to constantly be running. And so what we're going to do with that, because we have both of the cooling towers are done now too. So what we're going to do with that is we need to get the truck system sorted out for here. Now, I forget things all the time, right? This thing, it's making the supply, right? It's making the UF6. It's all right here. But it's not kicking it to the storage. And I don't know if this happens automatically or not. I don't know if it's actually going to kick it to the storage. But at the moment, it's not. What I think happens is when this thing completely fills, it then exports here. I think that's how that works. But I don't remember because these are containers, right? They're not standard stuff. So what I need is a truck to pick it up from here and bring it over. Okay. And initially, we're just going to bring it over to, I think, this building. And so we're going to leave this one off. So this one's at 0. And I think we're going to go ahead and turn this one on. We have it at 50 right now, so people can work here. But we need to get the chemicals here. Getting the chemicals here involves train, which is why we've got this warehouse done. And I've already hooked up the chemical train so that what it does is it's going to bring the chemicals and plastic over to Karasna Industrial Yard so that they can use it. That's what it's been doing. It's just been going from chemicals back and forth there. So now what it does is it goes over there, drops off that stuff, goes back, picks up more stuff, then comes here, drops off the chemicals only, then goes back over, waits until loaded, and goes over there. And I think I'm probably going to just change the wait till loaded, so that train's going to be moving a lot more often now. But as we get our rail sorted out, as we get our rail figured out with electric, that shouldn't be much of a problem because it does have to deviate sometimes to go refuel right now, and that's no good. So I want it to not have to do that. And so it's going to be an electric train that takes everything around as soon as we can get that going. I've got the distribution office here. This is going to be comprised of trucks that are going to be taking things from here to here, for example. So it's a really easy thing. And I think initially we don't really need the full office, but eventually we will as it starts to bring stuff to these other buildings and kind of really just move things around and make sure the logistics are solid. My original plan of having a small truck in here that's being basically loading and unloading and both of these two things, again, I don't know if that's really going to work. I was kind of hoping it would, but I'm having my doubts here on this because this isn't kicking it directly. But if this can produce enough to where like over time it builds up to the point where it's full, then hopefully we'll start to see that happen, and then everything will just work really well at that point. But we can make this one way. It goes in this direction and then comes out that way. And that's, I think, generally how we want that to be. Okay. Now we also need, in order for this to be hooked up to a distribution office, it's currently fine the way it is. It doesn't need power, but in order for it to be hooked up to distribution offices and stuff and actually request stuff, it needs power. So I'm building a little substation right here and connecting it with the low voltage directly to the power plant here, and just having that be there. And that's also going to power this distribution office as well as anything else we maybe put in this area. And now that I'm looking at it, I kind of feel like I wish I had done it a little bit differently. I may have time to do that. It's not really built yet, right? I mean, yeah, it's not built yet. Let's do this a little bit differently. All right. So what I want to do instead is we're going to hook up a switch. Yeah, this little switch is fine. So we'll hook up a little switch here instead, kind of like this. That's okay. And then we'll take that same line. I kind of want to do a 235 now, just around. I think so. Are you still? Oh, you are. Yeah, you have to be completely dismantled. Of course you do. Okay. So we're going to say that we'll come off of this one instead. And it just needs to get over there. So I guess I'm going to have to go around. I want more power, so I'm going to have to do the 235 just so I can get more power. Oh man, you have to go all the way around this, huh? Sure do. Okay, well, that's what we'll do. It's going to be a little sloppy, but that's the way it goes. It's, I think it's still less work than, ooh, now I got to worry about where the roads are going to cross. Let's go here with it. And then, yeah, like that, just to make sure that's way open in case I want to bring that road over. And then over here, kind of the same thing. I want to make sure I can bring that road over really easily. Yeah, I don't want it there. So we'll go here with it. And then over like this. Yeah. And I probably could have micromanaged that just a little bit to get a little bit of extra distance each time, but I don't care that much. That's fine. And then we'll put like a cheaper one here. It doesn't really matter. It's like that. And then that is good. It's going to allow me to get power now routed from this one out over here so that, you know, these two uranium mines can work eventually. There are some other substations here. It looks like that one is in range, so that's actually not a big deal. And that means this one's probably in range too, right? Yeah. So I really don't even need the power over there. Well, I could have just left it alone. It's fine. I have expandability later. It's fine. Whatever. Redundancy is not a big deal. Okay, so the next thing I want to do for this is I want to get this road completed over into this intersection. It's going to be a little bit messy because this is kind of... I kind of wish I would have went over just a little bit more on this. It's going to be pretty messy here, but I think we can... I think it'll be tolerable. So let me pause it really quick so I can get my frames back. So we're going to go like this. And then what I want to do is we're going to bring this around a nice curve about to here, I think. We're going to bring it up. Yeah, it's going to go over the top, please. Thank you. About like that. Yep. Nice gradual. It's a pretty long bridge here. The goal of it being, of course, that it needs to go... Ooh, gosh, can I fit 2 roads in there? I'm not sure I can fit 2 roads in there, but that's going to be real tight. We'll see. We'll see in a second. Uh-huh. Okay, so this comes down like that, I guess. Yep. And then you come all the way down to the bottom here. Yep, and then what I want is... Right, you can connect here, yes. And then this road, we're going to have another one, which I don't know if it's really necessary, but we're going to do it anyway, because I think, yeah, just so it doesn't have to enter the roundabout. If you're going this way, you don't have to enter the roundabout. And honestly, it doesn't need to be that close to the intersection. I think if you're choosing to go that way, you should probably get off this road sooner. So we'll kind of bring it around. That's so close. It's not going to work there. It's... for what I want to do with it. I think there's going to be enough traffic where this is necessary. Or at least to keep it really working really smoothly, it's going to be necessary. So we're going to have to come a little bit wider here. And that's going to hurt our ability to get the other road in, but I think it'll be worth it in the end. All right, brings it in right like this. Yep, and then from here over like this. Yep, and then you on this side comes around. You know what? That's fine. We'll have that. Now, let's hope that we can get this one to do the same thing right next to it, okay? So let's have you come right to here. Yep. And then up. Yep, and then over you will go. Very nice. Okay. Yep, we'll keep it right alongside it, just like that. And then you're going to come in and connect here. Yep. And honestly, I kind of... Can I make it curve a little bit? No. Again, okay. And then, again, I don't want you to enter the roundabout if you don't have to. Right? So we can have you go... And I think we're going to take this road out. Yeah, this dirt road can go. At least for now, it can go. I might bring it back. But for now, this road can go. And then you're going to come off of this part right here. You're going to wrap around. Yep. And then connect like that. Okay. So if you're in the roundabout, you're coming from this direction. You're going to wrap around. And it's not that sharp of a turn for you to just kind of go, you know, to go that way if you want to go that way. If you're coming from this side, real simple. You get off of this road and then you whip over through here. and there's no need to get in the roundabout, right? Now, this roundabout also is going to have roads that go that way, which is going to take it underneath and go out on this side. So there's going to be a tunnel under here that goes to the other side here too. I was considering having this road go out and hooking up on this side too, but I'm not going to, because there's already this tunnel, and I don't think the traffic is going to be that big of a deal in that direction. So if there is somebody over here, this is eventually going to get torn out. I just haven't done it yet because it's running smoothly, and I don't want to disrupt something that's running smoothly. But the other reason is because I don't have power routed out here. So there's no point in me coming out here and building the rest of this stuff if I don't have a means of getting power out this way. There's no capacity left on any of these lines. So in order for this to run, I gotta have a source of power that's different from what we already have, because our source of power right now is over there. And if you go too many connections, you eventually just stop transmitting power, right? So then we'll take all this stuff over here and we'll move it over on this side here. We'll also add the hazardous waste processing and stuff, so we don't have to cart it through on the train tracks and stuff. I want to try to limit train travel as much as possible. I like the idea of having everything connected like I have before, where trains can go anywhere they want, but the routes that they take should, to the greatest extent, we should try to localize them. So having trains going from hazardous waste here and carting them all the way over there is just not efficient when I can put one single building right over here. And that's kind of what I'm going to look to do. And then I can just have the trucks bring it there instead of relying on the trains for it. So once the power is done, the nuclear power plant set up, we'll get it over there and everything will be good. Okay, so we're going to be building these roads, and we need a shortcut for the builders and stuff to do that. So let's grab this road again, and I'm just going to kind of turn it and bring it in. Actually, we can bring it in right here. There we go. So now all the construction crews can get over there if they want to. They may choose to go all the way around this. I hope they don't, but they may choose to do that. I'm going to give them a little bit of a shortcut in case they do want to do that. And that's just going like that. That may help speed up the travel time into this area to start working on these roads. And then you can see this road right here is not connected. So we'll get that connected and then hook it up to that. Hook it up to that. There we go. And then that. Oh, almost. And there. Okay, so now these guys can go in and get everything done, hopefully. So let's make sure that Magnitograd is on the case. Their auto search did a pretty good job. It's already highlighted stuff. And you know what? I think I'll go ahead and get helicopters involved here too, so we can really start getting this area moving. Because nuclear power is kind of like the next thing to get operational, to be able to afford the power outputs. Or power outputs? That's not the right word. To be able to afford, for the sake of power, our expansions in the future. Let me check on the electric train really quick. And I don't see it. Oh, question mark right here. So electric train managed to get all the way out here. That's good, because that means that this track is done. Did they get this done? And they had to have, right? Yeah. I can't click on it anymore. So this whole thing is electrified now, all the way out to that side. So if I go, yeah, that curves in to the right there. Yep. And this is all red. All the way out that way. All the way out that way. And intersection looks pretty good. You can kind of see how the red goes through. It's just straight ahead. It doesn't turn at all. So that's pretty good. And then all the way through here as well. There is a route. I mean, it's a little bit weird how some tracks are electrified, some aren't, but there is a route that allows it to come through there. And that's what I've been trying to do, is kind of just focus track builders on only the ones that are necessary to get them out where they need to go. So this train here just dropped off stuff, I think, or just picked up stuff. Okay, so this is a pickup train. What I'd like to see from this is a train from this distribution center picking it up here and taking it in. I don't want this train to go all the way over here. And so I think any pickup routes, I'm going to need to originate them from over here. So if that's the case, we still need to electrify it, because I really don't want to buy any more diesel trains. So let's see what we have here. Where is your route messed up? It's showing that it's messed up here. Is this segment of track is not electrified, right? Is that it? Okay. So this is a part where it could get there. I guess it went around somewhere else, but it's not able to get back the way it came. Interesting. Okay, so I have to electrify. I don't have to electrify all of this, do I? No, you're coming in from this side. Yeah. Okay, so you're coming from that side. Yep. And then you get to here and you can't go anymore. And then I assume out here is going to need to be electrified as well. Yeah. So somehow you got out that way. Where did you go to get there? You went underneath that. I don't know how you got there in the first place. Little train. I mean, you came from all the way around there. I guess there's got to be some way. Maybe right here? No, this is all electrified. I know it is. So it's just highlighting different things here. This is all electrified. Don't go by the yellow highlights. The yellow highlights are not the electrified track. But either way, it can't find a way back the same way it came here. So I'm going to have to Control H that one, and then we'll have to continue electrifying rails. And I guess we'll get going with this intersection since it seems like that's a bit of a problem. So I'll start to electrify this part. Yeah, that's red through there. So this is electrified. They can get through here, but it stops right here. So I'm going to have him do this part right now. And this part here too, just so that can go straight through. So right here by the bridge, just make sure that it has this whole thing kind of connected here. It should be pretty straightforward. You know, to electrify little segments like that, it is pretty quick. So they'll just kind of come in there, do one, and like basically do the whole thing. But I just want to make sure everything is on there. And then I guess I could make it a high priority as well. Let's pause it so I don't need jitteriness here. There we go. Make it high priority there as well. All right. So like the whole thing is like basically I have this one electric train, and the one electric train is kind of showing me the weak spots. The reason why that train is in there is so that I can see where it can't go. And then if I can go, you know, many months before that train ever complains, at that point, I'm going to start reintroducing more electric trains because it seems like the distribution center routes are, you know, working. And I can start introducing more trains as soon as that one stops complaining. But otherwise, the rest of the distribution network is going to rely on diesel for a little bit longer. And it's going to be really nice once we're no longer relying on diesel because, well, we're kind of at the limit. I can't really grow very much because I'm at the limit of what my fuel capacity is. This thing here it's got nothing in it. That's, oh, sorry, I clicked the wrong one. Okay. I got a little bit in there, but still, like, we don't have a lot of extra. And so a lot of these trains that we intend to, like, say, for example, here where it's supposed to be going and delivering things for an unload route, but it doesn't have anything in there. So it's just kind of a wasted train on the track right now because it has nothing to deliver. And that's entirely because we don't have any extra. So if we can get the trains to all go electric, they'll stop using fuel. When they stop using fuel, we'll just freeze up more for cars. There's a lot more cars that need it, and I can't go electric car, unfortunately. It just isn't in the game. And we can go trams, but those are limited in where they can go. They don't have that freedom of mobility of being able to go anywhere. You have to have custom routes. You have to have like planned commutes for that, as opposed to, hey, you know, you're free to go wherever you want, whenever you want, which is the whole thing that I wanted to have. I like personal cars IRL because of that freedom of mobility. And I wanted to see if I could make it work in this game. It doesn't have to be the most efficient. I've never argued that cars are more efficient. They're not more efficient than public transportation, but they offer freedom. And that freedom is so valuable to me anyway. And my boats have started breaking down. They are just getting way too old. They have not been maintained. It is time to bring them in. And now we have the infrastructure in place now to fix them. So we can go in here, have that boat report to this area here, and then this will fix it, right? We've got all the resources here necessary to fix it. So boat will just park itself and it'll be ready to rock and roll in a little while. This one's at 10%. This one here is at 49%, but it's basically just sitting there. I probably should check on my other boats just so to make sure that they're not doing this. Are there any? I was hoping they were out on the river and I could just click them, but there we go. Let's try this one. This one looks like it's in pretty good shape from a distance. 49%. Not too shabby. We're sending the bauxite over. And the trade is not nearly as good as it used to be, but it's still good. It still works. I think there's a limit to how prices are impacted by that whole supply-demand area of the game. I think there's a cap to it in a sense that if you just ship tons of it, as long as you space it out over time, it doesn't seem like it's going to get really cheap for me. So I can still sell for decent prices on the trade. But either way, it's always been about how much dollars for how much rubles. So we're at -7C. It's not quite winter yet, but I probably will be skipping the winter just because it really slows the game down a lot in the winter time. But I just wanted to take a look at -8C. Everybody's home is looking pretty good. So it looks like we're not going to have much of an issue with keeping people's houses heated, at least for these temperatures. Obviously, it is going to get even more extreme during the winter, but there are some houses right now that are like -20. I think those are the incomplete ones. Yeah. This is an incomplete project, so everything's just locked at 20 when it's not done. That's why this one's at 22. Or 20 as well, I should say, not 22. It's a little confusing there, isn't it? And then these buildings over here don't require it. So do we get this done? Yes. So let's go ahead and order a truck. Couldn't order the dollar. Every time I click this, nothing happens because we don't have a road there yet. I could have a road there. Like if I wanted to order American cars, I could do that right now. All it would take is just taking like this road here, for example, and just going that way with it. With one really big, long dirt road, I could just instantly make this happen, right? And this would hook us up to the border on this side. If I just went like that and then brought it over from here, right? Like something like that, that gives me a connection to the border and, you know, via the roads. So I would be able to theoretically click that button now, I believe, if I was to come over here and I could click that button. There it goes. Yeah. And it will give me the option now to purchase vehicles with dollars, with, you know, US money, right? I can purchase that with US money. Look at that. I'm only spending $2,000 every month on labor. It's pretty good. We'd have a little bit of a trade deficit with dollars this month, but that's because we're, you know, doing the whole bauxite trade thing. But I can buy these trucks now with dollars if I want to, and they're not that bad, but they're still not as quick because that truck's gonna have to come from there on a dirt road all the way over here just to get here, and it's gonna take a very long time to do that. So I am going to instead just go ahead and have regular old trucks come here. And I think instead what I'll do, this will be even faster, if I have a spare vehicle by chance. I don't think I do. I'm looking for my road depot. I don't have my road depot. Also, this construction office is done. This is going to have more buses, but I instead have a lot of buses here. So I've opted not to do that just yet, and I may not, but I will probably what will probably happen is I'll put additional vehicles here for construction office when it comes time to build the airport, because I'll just need more vehicles in the area at that time. But I'm looking for my other building here. Where'd it go? Right down here. So there should be some spare vehicles here, but I don't think these are all garbage and snow plows. Okay. Not really the right type of vehicle, unfortunately, here. So what we'll do, I guess, is bring them in from here. We'll go covered hull. And, you know, they're kind of just going to be... Honestly, I really don't even think I need to put them in the distribution office. You know, if I just get a big truck like this, I can get a couple of trucks that do this, really. We're only going to work 2 buildings at a time, right? So how about we try this? Let's go... Can I go green? No green on that. Let's try total capacity. How about we go... I don't know why I'm doing this for color, but... Doesn't really work that way, does it? Nah, it's fine. All right, we'll just take it like this is fine. 5.1 tons of chemicals for each of these trucks, right? So we'll buy 2 of these. 600 grand a piece is nutty. They're going to be brought from here. I don't have that paved just yet, so they'll be on asphalt for a little bit. But what I want these cars to do, sorry for the camera movements, I got to get over here. What I want these to do is I want you to pick up chemicals from here, and you're going to load chemicals. Then you're going to bring them here, and you're going to wait until unloaded. And then you'll come back and get more. All right, and that's going to be your route. And then right behind you, there should be another truck right behind you. And I should be able to copy that route to the truck behind you. There we go. And then instead of this one, instead of this warehouse, what we'll do for you is, instead of this building, what we'll do for you is you bring it to here. And same thing, you unload chemicals and wait till unloaded, but you don't do it to that building. Okay, so those two trucks are going to go do that. They're dedicated trucks that'll park in the parking spots here and just unload chemicals to keep these things fully supplied with chemicals all the time. All right, so the next thing I need is, like, I need the UF6 and stuff moved, right? And that's a container, so it's going to need flatbed. And this is kind of one of the reasons why I thought maybe I would just put them in the distribution office, because I need multiple types of vehicles, right? But I think once this thing produces the nuclear fuel, it should kick it to here. It should. But it can also, I think, kick it directly in is what I'm looking for too. But we're going to need a flatbed for this as well. So why don't we go ahead and grab one more from here. Just come down here. I will grab, let's see, let's go open hull. It needs to be able to haul vehicles. It doesn't have to be very big though. It really can be quite tame. I think something as small as this even would be fine. It can do 13 tons. What do you get over here? How big is this? So this is 0.75 each. That's more than enough. That's more than sufficient here. We're gonna buy this truck as well. Okay. And we'll go ahead and find that truck over here at the border. It's coming in on this side, like the other ones did probably. There we go. So this truck can load vehicles on flatbed. That means it can also load those containers. And so we're gonna have this go like this. Have you grab it from here, have you load containers, okay, from this, and we can have you wait till loaded. I think that's probably acceptable. And we're just gonna have you take it, for now, we're gonna have you take it directly here. I don't think that's gonna be necessary. I would really like to see them kind of wind up in here, but for the time being, I want to get nuclear fuel started so I can get this operational. And so we're just gonna have you unload this. And you can wait till unloaded as well. Because if you are, for whatever reason, full here, then just sit there and wait. Yeah, okay. So that's your route as well. Very good. Last thing I think I really need in this area, and like I said, I am going to kind of skip winter because it really slows the game down. I think I want a gas station local in here somewhere so they can refuel. So we're going to grab just a real quick fuel stop. I think right here, this one's fine. And I'll probably put it over here. This is a good spot for it, I think. It's kind of off the road a little bit. And, you know, when they get this built, then, you know, cars will come in from this side and they'll maybe exit to go here. Or maybe if they need to take in fuel, they'll decide to come this way first and then do this instead. I am kind of thinking I might need a roundabout right here. No, I think what I'll do is just put one of those one-lane roads that connects to that side going this way. And then this road will have a one-lane road that comes off of it, and it'll connect to this. So it'll be like a traditional off-ramp, on-ramp system where, you know, if you want to get on the highway, you can go this way. And then this will hook up one direction. And then this side will exit here. And then they'll be able to turn this way and get into the gas station if that's how they want to do it. And then once you're in here, if you want to go that way, you don't need to get back on the bridge. You can just, you know, head that road, and that's fine. Yeah. Okay, I'll see you guys after winter. This boat is really struggling. to get repaired. Okay, so winter's not over yet, but in anticipation for us using nuclear power and getting that going, we still need a little bit of infrastructure left to be put in. We need water intake into this nuclear reactor. You got to have water coming into the nuclear reactor. That's how you cool everything down. So we have one of these right here. We're going to put in a surface water intake. And it's just something that pulls from the river, essentially. And then in order to pull it from the river, you got to have a pump. And so right up here next to the building, we're going to place this pump here. This water system is really critical to keeping our power stable. You got to have water bringing in here all the time. You cannot let this lapse. If this thing runs and there's no water coming in, you can get a meltdown. You can get big booms, explosions. Things can catch fire. It's not good. So this is a really critical infrastructure. So I'm going to place this right next to the fire department. If it ever catches fire, the fire department is right here to take care of that immediately. But more importantly, this pumping station, it's in range of the nuclear station, so it's powered by the power plant, but it's also in range of these two substations over here. And these two substations are not connected to the nuclear power plant. They are connected to wind energy and the coal that's powering everything else right now, okay? They're also connected directly to the grid in that way too. It's important though, because if this thing isn't running for some reason, I need to make sure that the water system can still operate. So there's redundancy on all of this system because it's powered by two separate sources, okay? And so that's gonna feed water into there, okay? The next thing we have to talk about is nuclear waste. We have a lot of hazardous waste, and that's starting to kind of go into these containers here. It's going to need to be addressed pretty soon. We are now currently making nuclear fuel. Nuclear fuel fabrication, if you will, has begun. So the UF6 has been getting transported into here. And then here's our nuclear fuel. We now have 0.6 tons of nuclear fuel in here. And this plant will use 0.08 tons per day at maximum. So we have many days of nuclear power, nuclear fuel ready to go right now. So if I wanted to finish this and get it running, we could. But before we can do that, we have to make sure it's going to be stable, and that's that water setup. and I want to have the fire department online before this is running too. But the other thing is nuclear waste, right? When we process this nuclear fuel, it's going to give off nuclear waste. We have to do something with that. It's incredibly toxic. It's hazardous to everybody's health. So, all the way over here, we're going to have a space for vehicles right here. That's going to store this temporarily. And I'm thinking about moving it over actually even more, because eventually we're going to take it out of here with a boat. But I haven't really figured out how my docks and stuff are going to be. But wherever it is, it really should be connected to that. I'm thinking, though, it's probably got to be transported by truck anyway, so it doesn't really matter where it is. But there is a road right here, and I'm thinking I could probably get that. Let's do this a little bit differently. We'll pull this out. Let's go over to our boats. Let's go to our harbor for vehicles and containers. Eventually, things are going to get brought here to get shipped out of here. So we just need to make sure that this can get in here somewhere. And that is going to be a real pain in the butt, isn't it? Go over here, but that's a little further away than I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be really accessible for the trains, and that's kind of right here would be good for the trains. So right about here, looks like it will work, but I'm going to need to flatten that terrain. Yeah, it looks like I can flatten the terrain through here too. I think maybe we'll plan on it being like right here. Okay, the dock for the boats for vehicles and stuff. We can plan on it being right here. I won't be able to flatten it. I don't have any vehicles in the area. I don't think it'll let me anyway. Yeah, any vehicles in the area. But if we can we got a feel for where those connection points are, those factory connection points are. So I'm thinking right about the line of trees right here on the corner, the left corner. These little trees right here are probably where I'd want to put this instead. So why don't we plan on that? We'll put it right here and by these little trees here instead. So let's bring it over to not this. We want it to be the containers. Yes, vehicles, containers right here. So let's put this maybe like right here. Should be acceptable positioning for what we want to do with it. If I can get it to, there it goes. Okay. So it's a little bit further away, but I think in general, it's going to allow me to be smoother operating there instead. So we'll bring it over this way, and let's have this road kind of curve that direction. Yeah, it's going to end up curving that way probably a little bit sooner, honestly, is where it's going to curve. And this doesn't really need to be like a done road or anything right now, because the amount of time we have, like, we don't need to bring waste out that quickly. Okay, we're not generating waste that quickly. One truck can easily load it up and just take like a month to come over here and back, and it's still gonna have to wait to be loaded, right? So it's not that urgent. We can have dirt roads for now, but it's pretty important that this gets constructed so that we can take that waste out of here at the time. It's not an urgent thing that I need to like set my helicopters on it now or anything, but we just need to decide on that and get it over here. And then again, there's going to be a harbor right here where boats will take that waste and just kick it out to the, we're going to send it to the west. Okay. We're just going to get rid of it out that way. No big deal. And then we'll send other things on the boat too. We'll end up exporting, for instance, the spare UF6 can go with it. If we have more UF6 than we know what to do with, we can send that with it too. And we end up net positive. We end up getting paid more for the UF6 than we are paying for them to take our waste. And so the boats still make us money in exchange for getting rid of all the waste. We don't have to store it here. And if it's for some reason like we don't get the infrastructure in place in time and the boats aren't going yet, this can hold a lot of waste, and it'll be very polluting through here. It's gonna be horrible, but it's so far away from all the people, you see, that it just won't matter. It's not gonna infect, nobody's gonna get sick from it being way out there. So that's the game plan for nuclear waste and for the water that's coming in. In case you missed it, we are already getting rid of like sewage. That's already getting rid of. So we have this sewage tank, which covers every building in the area. So one tank to rule them all, the big thick boy pipe all the way out directly into the sewage discharge. I guess it doesn't go directly, does it? It goes into here, but still, it's discharging, okay? And so we're taking care of all of that right now. And then the last thing I want to do, I think, is I've just noticed, like, the way this is set up, I'm not going to be able, thankfully helicopters can get in here, but I'm not going to be able to maintain this because the cars can't get in here. And yeah, that's a bit of a problem, just a little bit of a problem, but I already have a truck moving things from here to here. So I think what I'll try and do to make this a little bit more manageable to maintain is I would really like to see if it actually does kick it out here. But I need to get rid of one of these factory connections. It's the only way to make this happen. I can't get rid of these two because this is super useful. The uranium oxide's getting pulled in here and getting worked on that way. I could get more people to work here, but it would require me to get more trains, more trams. I need more of these trams. I probably need maybe like 6 more to really do it. And then I would need everybody who works here. Everybody who lives here would have to work, you know, that way. Well, I don't know about everybody, but there's still a lot of workers here that are waiting right now. Quite a bit of people waiting for it on the buses too. So I need to get going on that too. So I'm thinking a bus route, taking people out that way is a good idea. I'm thinking more trams would be a good idea. If I can get more of these guys to walk to the tram station, because they can all reach it, you know? So if I can get them all to just walk over here to go to work, that'd be great. So like, I think right now I need to order more. And I can't do it here. I have to do it at the border. So I think I'll order more, and then I'll have a truck come out and bring that. How much do they cost if I want a used one? I don't think I've ever actually looked at used trams, but they do sell them. It's not that big of a savings. 6 years old, 17%. Nah, it's not worth it. Okay. Well, they're not as happy as they were at the start of the winter. They got a little bit of a happiness dip here, but otherwise, our population actually grew during the winter. So with the addition of this extra heating plant, I've solved most of the heating issues around, and that feels pretty good. We got another question mark over here. What's going on? Electric train? All right, you can't get to Cernikova Farms. Well, that's... What cargo station are you trying to get to? This one? You've reached this before, haven't you? The electric train? Maybe not. Okay, let's see what the gap is here. Where did it go? Right over here. Okay. So where's your problems? Looks like right here, which is weird because you don't need to enter here. You don't need to come through here, but you can't get in here anyway. Okay, I see. So you're trying to go this way and then maybe turn around. Is that what you've been trying to do? That makes sense for you to do because you can't get in on that side. I don't think there is a way for an electric train to deliver into this area yet. We don't really have any of this. I don't have any of this upgraded yet. But either way, you should be able to come through here. This is all done. So you should be able to come right through here and then come through this way and then turn around. But I realize why that's not... Uh-oh, this is going to be bad. Escape. Okay. I got my mouse caught on that window and I couldn't unclick. Yeah, I don't know how an electric train actually does this route. That is a problem. Okay, so let's see. How much track do I got to electrify here? It's all the way over, right? I mean, I haven't done any of this yet, so... Yeah, still a lot of electrification work to do on this specific path right here. Wow, all the way out here too. It's just not built for electric yet, up to here. So we have this area done. And then there's no curvature though. So like I did this little area here, but there's nothing on the curve anyway. It's only in a straight line from that side. So Yeah, that's going to be a hard one to do. Maybe we can get lucky and a different train will pick up that load. Maybe a different train picks up that route. I hope anyway. But that's the reason why we have the electric train in there, so we can see its weaknesses and figure out which routes it wants to take and make adjustments as needed. And right now the adjustment is I need a whole lot more track done. Okay, so how about we start from... I guess we'll just start from this side. Probably the least invasive is to start from here. Oops. No, we want to go like this. Yeah, not the whole thing, right? Man, that queuing up that job is... I feel like this is gonna be really disruptive. But at the same time, I mean, something's got to be done here. It's got to be done, you know. So, you know what? This whole segment right here. I don't think I've done a segment this big in a long time when it comes to like queuing up electrification. But it's got to be done. We have to work on it. So if I don't queue it up now, then when am I going to do it? So we'll do these little bits right here. Trains can also get into that one. They can't really get into these all that well, but yeah, whatever you can get into, just do that. And then we'll make sure that these big segments here especially are higher priority for you. And they'll just do it when they can, you know? Do it when they get on with it, I guess. Yep. To make the whole thing high priority, so they maybe they'll go to this in between their work on the subway and the metro. We should probably check in on the metro, shouldn't we? See how far along that is. I've been doing a lot of above ground electrification, so I don't know how much progress they would have made in this time, but well, let's just take a look. Okay, so here's our metro right here. It comes around this way. It connects to this station, which is done. And then both of these lines are done. I can't highlight them anymore. That's a great sign. Okay, this one. Okay, actually, they're underground right now, working on it. Okay, so right here is not done, but this part is not done from here. Okay, so basically they're done from here to here. Okay, interesting. And so they're working on getting it into this greater area. We still haven't gotten anywhere close to Charlevoix General yet. And then it needs to get to this point to electrify the track. And then it should be coming at from the other side with the other train. So how are we doing on the other side? Progress on this side at all? It says there's no electrification. That's okay. And we are all the way to this station. Good. I can't highlight this. Oh, right there. Okay. So that track is not done. And then all the way out on this side, we're to here. Okay. Hey, that's almost a food production. And so from there, we just have this little segment. It's not a little segment. There's a lot of segment there. But yeah, I'd say maybe we're like, I don't know, 40% done total with the metro. I mean, it's only been, what, 10 years? It takes a very long time. Yeah, I think we're about halfway done with the metro there. All right, cool. So we've queued up electrification for the trains. On this side, we've got the highway pretty much done, but I'm working on the exits and sort of these extra roads around the outside to allow cars to kind of just more fluidly move around these buildings so they don't have to go all the way around, right? So we've got this highway done. This took the winter to do. Pretty good. Not bad pace there. And then as soon as this pump and this pipe and stuff is done, see right there is completed. See, notice the quality of the water is terrible, which is fine because this is just for nuclear. We don't need it to be really good. And then the drinking water is coming from the other source, coming from this. And as we cross into March 2027, the pump and the pipe and our access point for water is done, which means this building can have water now, and I'm going to go ahead and turn on continue construction to get this thing finalized. And we're going to have to go in, and I'll probably need to just add the helicopters to finish it off. It's the easiest way to go about it while everyone else is busy doing other things. We have also now crossed into 80K population territory. Everything has grown so much, man. I mean, over the last, what? We've been playing this for nearly 2 years, haven't we? But I think it's been like 18 months. I don't think it's been quite that long, but still, long time. It's been great. We're delivering fuel out this way now. So these fuel rats over here, you know, these trains and stuff, they have it in their route to unload their fuel that they bring from the fuel access point. And they'll bring it over here, drop it into the tank right there. And then these guys have routes now that they're using to go ahead and keep everybody fueled up, including, I think anyway, if they've done it already. I don't know. Let's find out. Yep, fire station's done. And we have 26 firefighters in there. Police, ready to rock and roll. Their cars have arrived, so they are ready to go too. Although they don't have any fuel. I wonder if that's... Did I forget to hook that up? I might have. Yeah, I did. I forgot to hook that up. Okay, now they have fuel too. Okay, perfect. And then this fuel station here is operational as well. Very nice. These roads are nearly done. Looks like all of our turnarounds are done. Yep, pretty good. Okay, so I can go ahead and make these all one-way streets now. Whoops, this is the wrong direction. Yeah, I'm going the wrong way. Hang on. Start from this side. Stay away from the helicopters if we can. It's pretty loud. There we go. All the way through this way. Done. And then the game will glitch out for a second while it calculates everyone's route again. Almost. Come on now. You can do it. And we're back. Okay, and then we'll try this one. All the way to there. And then we'll wait for it to recalculate again. There it goes. There it goes. Making roads one way is such a pain in the ass. Okay, there we go. Everything is good there. And then, yeah, I think we're pretty much ready to rock there. Now, there's an exit lane. You can see how this works. So this one comes down through this way. Some graphical things there. But it comes down through this way. And then from this side, they can exit. If they want to get into here, for example, they exit here. And they go to this road. And then they can just cut underneath and get in here if they need to. And then also from this side, if they want to get in here, they can do this. They can come this way. And they're able to get in like that. Or I have them able to do this, but I don't know why they would need to. I probably will delete this. We'll see if it becomes a problem. If it's one of those situations where the truck wants to get over here for some reason, maybe we're going to do something over here. I don't know if we will, but if we do something over here, then that might be a situation where the trucks want to get over here. And it would be faster for them to just cut through this as opposed to going like this and then around. But I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I just wanted to give them, you know, alternatives to everything. We have workers in here, and I think we're just waiting for 0.19 tons of steel. And with that, we are powered by nuclear now. Now, let's walk through a little bit about this, okay? So we have 2 tons of nuclear fuel in this building, and we're going to use it at a rate of 0.08 tons per day at maximum production. But we are nowhere near maximum production, okay? And we're not going to be for a very long time. However, I am going to look into getting a really long 18 megawatt line running out to the west, not just because I want to export, but because if I'm going to make a town over here, right, I want to be able to power it too. So we're going to need power lines running out that way as well. We already have this underground line that goes under the river and everything, and it kind of dips down. Let's see if I can highlight it right there. It dips down under the river like that. We already have that, but that's going to power actual structures and stuff over in here. This area is supposed to be just our western town, and I don't even know what this is going to produce. At this point, it's been so long, I've forgotten what kind of resources are over here. Looks like it's got its own source of coal, which is kind of important for heat. It's got some oil over here. That's good for fuel. So we'll probably have some fuel processing on this side. It looks like we're kind of going to have to do, like, probably have an oil field right here. Seems like a good spot for a whole bunch of oil to come together, and then we'll probably have people here and then moving that way, but we'll plan that later. That's down the road a little bit still. Right now, though, nuclear power is at least running, and we want to have this. We want to have as many people as possible powered by this power plant. Okay, we have water coming in, and we are good to go. Yep, sewage tank has a little bit of overflow. I think it needs industrial sewage, right? I didn't hook that up. I don't think it mattered. Oh, it's right here. Yeah. Okay. We do need a place for this sewage to go as well. So I think maybe what we'll do is we'll just have like a big pipe. I don't know if we'll ever need big pipe. Let's do a medium pipe. And I guess I can just have this medium pipe come all the way over and slap it right into here. I can just do that. I mean, it's fine. The nuclear sludge can go into the river. That's just kind of how it goes, man. The alternative to that is I bring it in here, and we have ourselves a nice little radioactive tank here. Maybe we can do some experiments on some, I don't know, freaking sharks with freaking laser beams attached to their freaking heads. Anyway, so we'll do this for now. We're just going to get that going in there. That's pretty important. But, you know, right now we are using some fuel, all right? And we're going to start getting waste buildup. Two things I want to do. One, I got to make sure that we're all connected. So these lines are looking good. At least up to here it is. And I think there's another one right here that you can kind of see it. It's not highlighted, but there's a red line right here. And this is going all the way over and slap it into here. So that means this area is nuclear powered right now. Okay, that's gonna be really nice. Then we have these lines going all the way out this way, and right now they're not doing anything because I've got this cut off. But if I stop this, now that's there. And before, this was messing up my power grid because it was expecting power to get this way, but it would get this far and it would stop, right? There's a maximum number of connections you can have to powering your buildings. And if you go and connect it too many times before it gets there, then it just simply doesn't get there. So with this, instead of this being like the 18th connection from power being coal and then moving it all the way through here and then coming around this way and then connecting, and then it's like so many connections, or even from the border, there's a lot of connections going through here. I don't think it's too many, but for some reason the game wasn't letting me do it very well. Well, now this is the first connection. This is connection point number 1, right? It's not like 18 or whatever. It's 1 because it's coming from the nuclear power plant now. And so all of this should be a lot more stable with power now. And we should see the nuclear power plant do, I mean, it's capable of a lot of power. So we want to move as many buildings and as many citizens as possible into being powered by that. And that should mean all of Charlevins. We should be able to provide power for pretty much everybody in here, the entire industrial area, etc. And so the rest of this, like Cernikova, is probably not going to get it because it's too far away. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. Cernovsky's probably not going to get it. You know, it's a little far away, but we can do that with coal. We can keep coal running. So what we're going to want to do is I think I'm going to reduce the workforce in this one to 10. I think I'll do the same here as well. We'll just reduce it down to 10. I just want to see how it stresses the grid. I kind of want to see what it does. And I'll be experimenting with that as well to see which connection points are, you know, what's too far from nuclear and what's not. We got a problem with this train. This is a waste train. It's full and it can't get out. Probably because of the track building. Yes, you should ignore the red light. So it's these two, all these track segments and stuff, right? We're rebuilding them. And that train needs to get this way. So it can't get through here because of electrification pending, which is weird because this is already electrified. So you shouldn't be pending here. Yeah, this whole path is good for you. So why would you care about that? Is that what you're hung up on? Yeah, why are you caring about that? This is already done. Nothing's... Oh, this isn't done. Maybe this was the problem the whole time. Whoa. Maybe this was the issue. But it was just showing me that over there. Really bizarre. Okay, let's take this. I kept having to control H this. Every time I got over there, I had to control H it, and I was trying to figure out why. Well, this is probably why. All right, you do this, and then, you know, make that like your main objective or something. Let's get that done. In the meantime, I think the waste train can probably just sit there. I don't think it's a big deal. But that would also explain why this train is in there. Because it's just stuck in here because it can't get through. Probably because of the same point, I would assume. So we'll just control H that too. All right, so now the objective is to kind of make sure that power is good and stable with this new source of power. And we also need to really make sure that we have a good supply on hand as a buffer zone, right? So that's why we've got all this uranium oxide just sitting there as a buffer ready to go. This is why I let it go for a little bit, making sure we get plenty of UF6. So there's a whole bunch of UF6 in here just ready to be processed. There's 51 tons of it just sitting here. And the regular import for this is only 4.29 tons. So a huge buffer, right? So this thing can operate pretty much all the time and just get us where we need to be. And then we can start turning on these two buildings if we notice that there's an excessive workforce. And then we have additional trams and stuff that we'll get on the tracks, so we can bring more workers out this way, and also additional buses and stuff that'll be shuttling people into there. There's 95 workers there. There's 74 workers there. That's pretty good. I think with that, I mean, if that's the case, I think I'm good with turning these buildings on. Let's just get this stuff processing. I'm fine with it. We're gonna let this one process first. Let this one turn on and get going first. Let's maybe get the helicopters to just come in and bring this stuff here. Just bring the resources here. It's good. But yeah, now that our coal supply is not as stressed out, it should be even easier to keep people warm now, which is a great thing. So the last thing I'll do, and then this video is over, is let's just make sure that we are building this, and I'll have the helicopters come out. Sorry. I'll have the helicopters come out here. I was doing so well, right? Man, I was almost normal. For a little while there, I was freaking good. Anyway, we're good here. Vehicles, containers, everything's fine. Yep. So helicopters will take care of this. And when that happens, I think I'll then switch all of these vehicles to just be managed by this. And then we'll make sure that one of the connection points is to deliver stuff out that way. That way, nuclear waste gets picked up here, doesn't make anyone sick, because the nuclear waste is going to start building up. There's only 3 tons of storage for it, which is way more than we'll need, I think, as soon as we get all the vehicles and stuff running in there. It does take a while to build up, especially since we're not really producing a whole lot of fuel, right? So anyway, yeah, I think that pretty much wraps up our video for today. We're nuclear powered now. Fun times. As soon as that sewage pipe gets in here, then it will definitely be finalized, with these 2 buildings finishing as well. And then we can start to produce even more excessive amounts of UF6 and nuclear fuel. And then we can look at getting our harbor set up over here, maybe start exporting that. My dollars is kind of hamstringed right here just a little bit. My rubles aren't doing as well either right now, and that's a lot of that has to do with the fact that I've had lots of boats that I've had to redirect off their paths to get in here and get repaired. And every time that happens, it's well, puts a huge ding in my import-export business. But for the most part, everything is looking pretty solid right now. Okay? Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.